I posted this in a few forums, but I thought you guys would be interested. Anyway, this one happened a few months ago. I live in the backwoods of the North Georgia mountains, and it makes for some great hiking, camping, woods smoking. Anyway, my bro and I went out for a 10-mile hike last weekend before all the snow came down. We get on the trail, we're probably about 15 to 20 miles from the nearest town. This area was fucking isolated. We were walking for a few hours, trying to find somewhere to camp, when we heard this god-awful shrieking. It wasn't just screaming, it had this blood-freezing shrill frequency that I didn't think anyone could possibly reach. After the screaming subsided, we heard this barking in the distance, followed by whoops and hollers that to me sounded like drunken hillbillies just raped someone. I was playing that horrible scene from Deliverance over and over in my head, and we did not feel safe at all. After about 10 minutes of listening to this, we hauled ass to where the sounds were coming from, fearing what we would find. The sun set, and we stupidly were still floundering about in the woods, carrying nothing between us but a few meals worth of food, a few grams of pot, sleeping bags, and a tent. It was dark, we were scared out of our minds, and I just wanted to get the hell out of the woods and back to my car. At around 8, the sun had long set, we were wandering around shivering with flashlights. We didn't have any weapons on us but multi-tools. Brennan just said, "Screw it. Let's set up camp here." We knew we were lost, and we were cold as Satan's rectum. We set up our tent haphazardly, piled in, and slept uneasily. The next morning, Bren prodded me awake. He was shaking, from cold or fear. Our tent's rainfly had been torn off, I figured by the wind. We stepped outside, and promptly both almost shit ourselves. The tent fly was torn to shreds on the ground, the stakes upended, and there was a fucking noose hanging from the tree across the clearing. Naturally, we broke camp and ran almost 4 miles through the woods to come out by a road, followed the road to where I parked and got the hell out. In 19 years of living in the middle of nowhere, I've never felt that vulnerable in the woods. I live in Washington, and there's a tiny town called Olalla. 100 years ago, literally, there was a female doctor who opened a sanitarium out there. She attracted all kinds of wealthy clients, and her belief was that the cure to all of life's illnesses was fasting. She would starve her patients to the point of delusion, where she then got them to sign their estates and funds over to her. When they died, she would bury them, and when her property became full, she started tossing them in ravines and off of cliffs into the Puget Sound. There's a book about this called Starvation Heights, which is what the sanitarium was dubbed by the locals. Anyway, the woman is caught and brought to justice, but after only a decade in prison she is released and restarts her hospital until she eventually dies of her own diet. So this is a local legend told by only a few people who know the story. It was told to me by a friend of mine's grandmother, who lives just yards from where the original sanitarium was built. The foundation is still there to this day. So on a quest for adventure, my friend and I decide to drive to this small town in the middle of the night. There's a trail you can take, and at the top of it is an area where many bodies have been buried, unmarked graves. We pull the car over to the side of the road, already scared out of our minds at the shenanigans we are about to get into. We sit there, smoking cigarettes in darkness and silence, pumping ourselves up. So we get out of the car, lock the doors, and with a small flashlight head to the trail. It takes a while to find it, using only memory of what we've been told. We start the mild hike up, all the while getting more and more creeped out by the second. I notice that my feet are getting really hot. It wasn't really warm out. I figured it was just the adrenaline and the slow climb, even though the rest of me was freezing. We finally reach our destination, and we just stand there, unsure of what to do or say. We know there are bodies buried beneath our feet. I don't know what we were expecting, but after a while my feet were hurting and burning so bad I had to get back to the car. When we finally get back, I get in and sit down on the seat, and I just have to take my shoes off. My feet hurt so bad. I grab them to pull them off and it burns my hand. WTF? So I kick them off, pick them up by the insides and turn them over to look at the soles. They are completely melted on the bottom. I ask my friend to check her shoes. Hers are fine, normal, and they were almost the same type of shoe. It was by far one of the strangest things to happen to me.